All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Laura, and I'm going to be walking you through the presentation today. I know we have some people on the phone who I've spoken with before, and I was happy to see you joining the call today, as well as some individuals who I've never spoken with. So welcome to Mindflash, and look forward to answering your questions today and showing you a little bit about how Mindflash can help with your partner and customer training. So let's go ahead and get started. What I wanted to go through today, and I'm not going to go through PowerPoint slides, so don't worry about that, but really what I wanted to just show you was what I planned on speaking of today in the webinar. So we're going to start out, I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to Mindflash for those of you that are not familiar with the product. While I know we have a lot of people on the call who are current users, that's great, but there are some people that have never tried Mindflash before or are very familiar with what it is. So I'm going to go through a quick introduction, and then I'm going to talk about the benefits of customer and partner training and show you a demo of basically, how to set this up within Mindflash and some different options and use cases for this, and go through best practices on that demo, as well as how to scale out this training. Some of you might be training just a few customers, and that will work great, but there might be some of you who are training thousands or hundreds of customers, and it will work very, very easy, and you'll have a lot of success doing that within Mindflash, so I want to walk you through that. And then I'm going to show you some reports so you can see an example of how you're able to track all of these trainings that you're creating, and go through questions at the end, as well as I will be stopping throughout the presentation. So if there is some questions, please go ahead and just ask them as we go through it so we can get those answered. So don't take it from me. We do have hundreds, actually thousands of customers using Mindflash today, and a lot of them are using it to train their partners and customers. You'll see just a few logos here. I work with companies of all sizes at Mindflash, companies with just a few employees up to companies like McDonald's and Intuit with thousands of employees. So the product is definitely scalable and works well for all different types of customers and partner training, as well as employee training. But today what we're really focusing on is not so much training employees. We do have a weekly demo that we walk through on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific that walks through how to set up Mindflash more for the employee training. Today we'll be focusing on customers and partner training. And really why we wanted to go through that with you is it really can benefit your company to train your customers and your partners on your products and services you offer. We've seen through a lot of our customers that who have implemented these types of trainings, they're able to generate more revenue. They're able to reduce their churn rate of their customers because customers are able to understand their products easier. They aren't calling into their support as frequently to ask questions because they've been trained on their products. And also just increasing your brand awareness and company loyalty. So definitely this is exciting for us to be able to share this with you. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of how you can set this up within Mindflash. So let me go ahead and go to my browser. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with Mindflash, I'm just going to go through very quickly what it is. It is a web-based online training platform, and really all that means is web-based. It means you don't have to install any software on your computers. You're accessing it over the internet, just like you would access Amazon.com to buy a book or access your online banking. So it works across all the various browsers. Today I happen to be using Firefox, but certainly for those of you that use Chrome or Internet Explorer or Safari, works across those as well, and also across different computers. I'm using a Mac, but a lot of our customers use PCs. So I feel sorry for them, but they do. And also across different mobile devices. So for those of you that have customers or partners that you're working with that want to be able to access trainings from their phones, works across all different types of phones. I have an Android. A lot of my colleagues have iPhones. Works great, as well as different types of tablets. So iPads, Android tablets, Kindle Fires, We've tested it across all different devices and have gotten great feedback on it. So your customers don't have to be tied to their computer to take your training courses. And the way that it works basically is somebody at your company would be set up as a trainer or an administrator who would go in and create these trainings for customers. One thing to note is, obviously training customers is a little bit different than training employees, so you want to make sure that you have your trainings branded to your company, and Mindflash can certainly help you do that. There's a few different options as far as trainings as to whether or not you want to charge customers or partners for training or offer free training, and I'm going to go through an example of how you could do both of those with Mindflash. So let's go ahead and log in. First, I'm going to log in as the trainer at your company. So for those of you on the phone, that may be you. If you're going in and creating these courses and want to be able to access reports, go ahead and put in your email address or your username. It doesn't have to be an email address, and of course this will work well for if you are training consultants or partners, customers you're working with that don't necessarily have an email address. You can set them up with a username. So an example could just be laura.hall would be my username, and then I put in my password, go ahead and click on login. What you're seeing on the screen is actually my demo account. So I already have some courses that I have created in here. It's very, very easy to create these courses for training customers. You go ahead and click on Create New, and then you would load in your content from whatever system you're using. So a lot of our customers use PowerPoint, they use Articulate Storyline, Captivate, videos, all work really well with Mindflash. And you can mix and match and have different types of training within one course, or different types of, file within one course. So as you see here, I already have some courses that I have created, and you could have different courses for internal employee training as well as customer training. With Mindflash, there is no limit as far as the number of courses you can create, so definitely you want to go ahead and maybe brand them differently for customers. Maybe you're using a PowerPoint that has your company's logo on it. That's easy to do. Once you've created the course, you could go ahead and add that to a series if you wanted to. An example of this, especially useful for customer training, we have a lot of companies that use Mindflash for customer training, and they have set up different certification programs for training customers. So for example, if you wanted to set up like an administrator certification program within Mindflash, you could create a series to accomplish this. I'll just go ahead and type in the title of my series, and then you'll add the courses that you want to include in this administrator certification training just by dragging and dropping them. So go ahead and drag and drop these courses. You can also search for the courses. And then once you have the ones added, you could go ahead and choose to enforce the course sequence. And of course, this would be useful if you wanted to ensure that they're going through them in the order that you've created them here. So they'd have to go through Sales Training 101 before they move on to the advanced course. So think of it as setting up a prerequisite course that they're required to go through before moving on to the next one. Go ahead and click on Apply, and now you've created a series. So once you've created your series of group courses together, now you could go ahead and set up the catalog. And this is really where catalogs are, where it's going to be very, very handy and easy for your customers to go in and choose which courses they want to sign up for. So I'll go back to the home page. I'll go ahead and click on Create New, and I'm going to create a catalog. Now there's no limit as to how many catalogs you create in Mindflash. Maybe you have one catalog for one of the products that you offer, and you have another catalog for a different product. You might have a catalog for internal employee training and just one for customer training. It's really up to you. Some of my customers have a catalog specific to partner and reseller training, and then they'll have a different catalog specific to customer training. It's very flexible. You could set it up really however works best for your company, but you'll go ahead and type in the name of your catalog. So I'm just going to title this one Customer Training, Customer Product Training, let's call it, 2014. And then you can put in a description of the of the training you have in this type of training, if it's a certification or whatever you want to customize, put in here. And similar to the series, you're just going to go ahead and click on Add Content and choose which courses or series you want to add to the catalog. So again, it's really, really easy. You could go back in here later on and add additional courses, but I'm just going to go ahead and choose some of the ones that I have already created and add them. Let's add a series as well as some individual courses so you can see what that looks like. And then I'll click on Add to Catalog. And now I have these courses listed here. I can remove one if I need to just by clicking on that little X next to it, and then that will remove the course from the catalog. So once I've added the content that I want to have available in this catalog, I can go ahead and choose to share this out. And now, for a lot of you who are training customers, you'll probably want to make this catalog public so that people, your customers, are able to just go in and register themselves for the courses that they're interested in. So you're not forcing them to, take the courses or take a certain number of courses, but you could just say, hey, here's the list of courses that we have available, and they're able to go in and pick and choose the ones that they're most interested in. I'll show you an example of what the catalog looks like. Let me get the URL. Now, what a lot of our customers are doing is they'll put this URL on their company website. Maybe they have a link on their website called training, and they'll put a link to the catalog there. Or for those people that are using catalogs internally, they'll put a link on their intranet. So a lot of different options. Let me show you what this catalog looks like for your customers. Now, here's an example. Of course, you're not going to have a picture of me riding my bike as your logo, but this is my demo account, so there's a picture of me on it. And then you could obviously put in your company branding up here, put in your messaging up here, and then here's the list of the different courses that you saw me make available within this catalog. So as a customer, I can come in here, I can look at these courses, and maybe there's ones that I'm interested in registering for. I can go ahead and click on View Course because I want to just preview it, make sure it is a course that I'm interested in, and when I do that, it's going to let me preview the first 3 slides of that course. It is because this is a PowerPoint. It's giving me the slides. And then if I think, yes, this is the course I'm interested in, I can go ahead and click on Start Course. Now when I click on Start Course, it's prompting me to register for the course because I've never taken any of your courses before that you've offered. So as a first-time user, I'm going to fill out your registration form. And I mentioned that there's 2 different kind of ways that you can share these trainings. You can offer them for free with your customers, or you can sell these courses. So in this case, I'm offering this course for free. So they're able to just go in, put in their information, this registration form, and the form you'll see here, this is customizable. So I've added phone number as something I want to collect from my customers when they're registering, and I've also added country. You can choose to add, maybe you want to know city, or maybe you want to know their reseller ID number. There's a lot of options here. You can just choose what information you want to collect from them on this form, so they're prompted to fill it out. So as a customer, I'd come in here, put in my information, put in my email address, my phone number, whatever information you prompt me to fill out here, and then I would create a password and register so I now have access to that course. I'm going to show you what it looks like once I have access to the course, so you can see what their experience is like. But I mentioned that this option here is to offer free training to your customers. We also have the option for you to sell your courses to customers. And we're getting great feedback from our Mindflash customers that are doing that currently today. It works really well. We built an integration with a company called Shopify. I'll go ahead and show you what that company looks like. Shopify, S-H-O-P-I-F-Y. This is a great product. You can actually sign up for a free trial of it and use this along with your Mindflash account to be able to test it out. But basically, the way that it works is you register with Shopify and sign up for an account through them. You set up a merchant services account so that they're able to process credit cards and send the payment for your courses to your bank. I already have an account set up, so I've logged into it. I would go ahead and I would click on Login and put in my information for the account that I have set up. And then you can go in and customize a lot of things within Shopify to make your store and your courses look more appealing to customers. You can add different collections here where you choose what information or what courses you want to make available to customers. And you might have different types of collections. Again, maybe you have a collection for resellers, and then you have a different collection of courses for customers. So it's really easy to create these new collections. You just click on Add Collection, type in a description. You can type in a title. I already have one that I've created called Laura's Sample Certification Program. You can see here how I'm able to customize everything. So I can customize colors. I can customize the text. I'm able to choose what courses from Mindflash I want to add to make available to sell, as well as the price. So I've made 3 of them available, and you can choose to go ahead and add more down the road, and then you're able to customize everything else within Shopify as far as different colors and other things for your shop. So once you've set that up, I'll show you an example of what my storefront looks like. Again, you have your branding here, the background, everything is customizable, so you can change the colors, but you'll see when I scroll down, here's my certification program that I set up, and I have 3 courses available that my customers are able to buy or purchase. And some of them, you see I've made them more expensive. This one's only $12. So as a potential customer, somebody could come in here and choose this course and say, oh, this looks interesting. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my cart. I already had one in my cart, so you'll see that it just added an additional one to my cart. And let's go ahead and maybe update that quantity to I only want 1 time management course. And now I can go ahead and check out. And the checkout process, I'm sure you're all very familiar with this if you've ever bought anything online. Basically, very similar. It's just prompting them to put in their email address, their billing information, so they can come in here and put in their email address, their billing address, billing name. Pretty standard. Of course, it won't let me continue on without filling out the information. And now it's prompting them to put in their credit card information. Now, with Shopify, they actually don't, you have the ability to set up what type of payment you want to receive from your customers. So I think I have my account set up to receive Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Bitcoins. Which, yes, you do have the ability to accept Bitcoins, which I'm definitely not recommending that you do that, but definitely an interesting option. Or PayPal, you can choose to add PayPal. So you would customize that as part of your setting up the store. And then once you've done that, your customers can go in, put in their credit card information, put in their expiration dates, and then go ahead and complete their purchase. And so, of course, I don't have an actual credit card that I'm putting in here, but so now it accepted my credit card number, and my purchase is complete. And what's going to happen is once it actually processes the card, they're going to receive the email confirmation with the link to be able to go in and access your courses that they've purchased. Now, you can also, as the trainers from your company, you can also receive notification that they've purchased your course. And then you can go in and run all those reports. So it's a really easy, streamlined process for them to be able to go in and find the courses that they're interested in and pay for them if you're choosing the option to charge, or just registering for them through Mindflash if you want to offer them for free. So that's the basics of setting up the catalogs to be able to train your customers. Now, of course, once you've set everything up and people start paying for courses, you have all the reports available to you, or people are registering, you have the reports. Shopify itself has a lot of reports available for you as far as the reports on the amount of money you're making off these courses, the amount of people who have paid, which courses they've signed up for, so you're able to see all of that. But you're also able to see in Mindflash all of the course progress as well. So we've created a bunch of reports for you here, and you can go in and customize these reports. It tends to work out really well if you have different types of customers. You can set them up in groups. Really easy to set up groups in Mindflash. When you become a Mindflash customer, we actually assign you a dedicated Mindflash expert who's going to help you set this up, as well as go through training. And they'll help you set up this customer training as well if you're interested in it. But this person is a great resource for you because they'll be able to help you think about, do you want to group your customers so that you can then go in and run a report on just a specific country that you might be selling to, or maybe a specific product line that you sell. You're able to go in and filter the reports based on that. So this is an example of one of the reports we've created for you. It's a pretty high-level report, but you're seeing all the results as far as different trends of completions, top courses, how many people are actually taking your courses. Again, you can filter down because this is pretty high-level information. You might want to filter down and see just for a specific course what the results are. So if I come in here and I look at a particular course, I'm able to see how many people have passed that course, how many people have failed it. This is a great example. Nobody's failed this course. What the average duration is, and then you can scroll down and obviously see all of the details associated with that. So I'm able to see each individual that's signed up for this course, what their score was. If you added a quiz, within Mindflash you do have the ability to add quizzes and surveys to be able to track progress and also track feedback. Surveys are a great way for you to hear what customers think of your training because you can report on all the survey results. So I have some quizzes in this course that I created. People are passing them, also showing me the amount of time it's taking them to complete the course. So all of this you can report on, and you can also export these reports as well to Excel or PDF if you would like to. It's very, very detailed information. Maybe you want to search for a different course that you offer and see what the results of that course is. You can just go through your list and switch out to a different course. This one wasn't as successful. I had a few people fail this course, and in this case, it looks like my average quiz scores on the culture quiz were quite low, so let's go ahead and dig into that. You'll see for each quiz question, it's actually showing me feedback as to percentage of people that passed each question and percentage of people that failed each question. So this is very valuable feedback because if you're seeing trends where, in this case, 80% of my employees are failing or customers are failing this quiz question, maybe it's time to improve the training around that section, or maybe the quiz question is just worded kind of funny and you could reword it to make it a little easier for them to be able to pass that. So very valuable feedback for you to be able to track, how are your customers doing on these courses and these quizzes. You can make the quiz questions as easy or as difficult as you would like. I guess one best practice we would have when you're training customers is if it's a certification program, certainly you'd want to set a bar and a level for how difficult those quiz questions are. But if you're, just offering a general overview training for customers, you might not want to have a score associated to those quiz questions. You can set up the quizzes in Mindflash without a passing score so that it's more of just making a course interactive and not so much as testing them. So that's always a good option. The other thing to keep in mind, too, when you're creating those courses for customers is if you are charging for them, definitely you would want to make sure that the quality of the course is a great quality. So with Mindflash, you're able to record your audio directly in Mindflash to accompany a course, and you can easily do that on the course itself. Once you've uploaded your files, you can record audio. You'll want to just make sure that if you're selling your courses, that the content is up to date, because if people are paying for it, you don't want them to pay for content that's outdated. We highly recommend recording audio to go along with the course to make it more interactive, more engaging. So you'll see here, this is just an example of one of the courses that I had uploaded. It's a PowerPoint, and I can go in and record the audio to accompany those slides to help make it more engaging. You can also add videos into your courses, which definitely helps keep people's attention. Maybe you have a company video on YouTube already. You could include that, or just upload one from your computer. Upload different types of files into that course make it a little more exciting. People want to, they want to be entertained as they're going through your courses, so maybe breaking up a PowerPoint by asking a few quiz questions or adding a video, we would definitely recommend as a best practice. And if you are adding video and you're selling your courses, you'll want to make sure that video quality is is pretty decent so that people are impressed with your course. So let's go ahead. I want to show you what it looks like from your customer's point of view when they actually log in to take your course they've registered for. I think that's important for you to see that. Before I do that, I know there's probably a lot of questions as far as creating the courses and creating the catalogs and setting up Shopify to be able to sell them. So I'm going to pause for just a few minutes to answer those questions, and then I'm going to log out as the trainer and log in as a customer so you can see what that experience is like. And I have my colleague in the room with me. He's been answering some of the questions already on the GoToWebinar, but I want to make sure that if there's some great questions out there that we're sharing them with all of you, because maybe something you haven't thought of. So I'm going to have him read off some of the questions and take a minute to answer those.
All right. So I'm Randir Vieira, and I work with Laura on the product and marketing team to help build these features that we hear from customers and that many of you are already using. All right. So we have a question from Mike. Can PayPal be used for payment? Yes. PayPal is one of the available payment options in Shopify. So you can pick all kinds of credit cards, the usual MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover, PayPal, etc., and you can decide which of those payment options you want to accept on your store. Another question from Sinu. Do they purchase the course from Shopify or from your site? If you are making a course available for purchase, then the customer is purchasing it from the Shopify site. So you would be setting up things in Mindflash and then publishing them to Shopify. So the end customer who's making the purchase purchases it from the Shopify site, which allows you to really customize and brand the site to whatever brand guidelines you have. A question from Rick. Can you specify that certain users have access to a catalog but others do not inside of Mindflash? Yes. So you can choose, there are multiple ways that you can invite people to courses. So you can have the most restrictive way is to invite them to a course. So only people who you invite are able to access the course. You can then, the other extreme is you can put courses in a catalog and make that catalog available, and then anyone with the link can sign up. And in the middle is the ability to publish a catalog and say that only people who are already in your Mindflash account can access those courses. So if you're wanting to make courses available not for price, or you already have a different payment system in place, then you can use that option. All right. Does the course need to be set up in the Mindflash site as well as Shopify, or are both systems integrated? Both systems are integrated. So once you set up your course in Mindflash, you just publish it to Shopify, and in Shopify you control your branding, and that's it. You'd only create your course in one place and publish it to Shopify. Mindflash and Shopify are integrated. Can we record separate audio for each slide? Yes. So you can, and in fact we do recommend that you record separate audio for each slide. There are two ways to do that. One is what Laura is showing you on the screen right now, where you just click the microphone, hit the nice big record button, and then you can record up to 5 minutes of audio right there. The other way to do it is to do it on your computer. You can use all kinds of free or paid programs to record audio and attach it to each slide in PowerPoint, and then upload that file, which includes the audio, to Mindflash. A question from Amy. Once the customer purchases at Shopify, are they able to start the course right away, or is the manual process that someone needs to register them first in Mindflash? It's a great question. Because Mindflash and Shopify are integrated, the moment the payment is processed, then the customer will receive an email invitation from Mindflash automatically. that gets them into the course and they can start taking the course. So it might take a couple of minutes for the payment to be processed and for them to receive the email, but there is no manual work that someone needs to go register them in Mindflash. So especially when you're doing things at scale, as many of our customers are doing, and they have hundreds of people buying courses every day, that certainly saves a lot of time.
And one thing to add on that note, for those of you that are still looking at my screen, you are able to go in and customize those emails. Under the Distribute tab, you can go in and customize that invitation email that they'll receive that you've added them to a course or that they've registered or purchased a course, and customize as well by adding reminder emails. So if I go in and purchase a course from you, but then I forgot I purchased the course, maybe you want to send me a reminder in 3 days, hey, you purchased this course, here's the link to go in and start it. So you're able to set those up as well.
All right, so we have a few more questions, but do you want to get back to finishing up, and then we can get back to all the other questions?
Sure.
All right, so thank you guys, and keep the questions coming. We are keeping a watch on the questions, and we'll incorporate them or answer them individually at the end.
Perfect. So I mentioned that I wanted to log out as the trainer and be able to show you the experience from the customer point of view. Before I do that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the branding within Mindflash. I think you all saw that I had a silly picture of me on my bike as my brand, my logo, but certainly you're able to put in your own logo, your own branding, and you can easily do that through this Manage Account tab. You could come in and upload your logo. You're also able to choose to show or move the Mindflash branding for your employees and customers. I think especially for those of you that are selling courses, there's no need. You can go ahead and remove the Mindflash branding, then customers don't. It's completely branded to your company. The experience is just like they're on your site, your colors, your logo. So I highly recommend that, setting that up. And the other thing on this page, if you haven't already, if you are using the Shopify integration, there's a button here on the bottom left-hand side that you just have to click on enable the connection, and it's really easy. I've already enabled mine, so that's why it already says manage the content here. But for those of you that haven't, you'll want to click on that button to enable it, and it's just going to ask you to put in your Shopify store name. So my store name was Jay Walker. Your store name is going to be the name of your company, most likely. So that's how you'll manage the branding. And then the other thing that you probably will want to do, or some of you might want to do, that's related to the branding, especially if you're training customers. I always think it's a great idea to offer them a certificate when they pass your course. I print out certificates that I receive from trainings, and I put them at my desk and compete with my colleagues as to who has the most. So I think it's fun to be able to give them something to show that they've completed this training, especially if it's a certification program that you're creating. They'll want to have a piece of paper that they can show off afterwards, and you can easily set that up within Mindflash under the Customize tab on each particular course. So you can have different certificates for different courses. And I think that's really handy as well, because you are able to, we've created some templates for you that you could certainly use. Really easy. It's going to populate your logo and the name of the customer as well as the name of the course into these certificates we've created for you. Some of you might not, maybe you want the experience to be completely branded to your company, in which case these certificates just might not cut it. This one's a little silly looking in my opinion, but Randier's sitting next to me, so be careful what I say. But you could certainly upload your own certificate. I have an example on my screen here that you'll see of one that I've uploaded. I just created it in Word, but a lot of you probably have branding specialists at your company or designers you work with who could create a great looking certificate with your company's image or background on it, and then you can choose from Mindflash what information you want to show up on that certificate. So you could say, I want the name of the customer here, maybe I want the date that they completed. If you're selling to customers at other companies, you might want to put the name of their company on the certificate. So it's really easy to pick and choose what information you want to show up on the certificate and where. And then it's going to look great. So once they complete the course, they are able to print out a copy of that certificate. Some companies use this as like a rewards program where, because the certificate actually will populate a unique ID number on the bottom of each certificate for each person. So they use it as a reward type of program where that customer can then call into to the company and say, you know, here's my certificate ID number, and with that they'll get access to additional training courses that they won't have to pay for, or maybe they get access to customer support. Or a premier level of support, or maybe they get a t-shirt. So up to you as to how you want to manage that, but definitely think it's worth setting up the certificates for your customer training. I think that they'll appreciate that. So let's log out now as the trainer and log in as a customer so you can see what it looks like for them. So the way that it works is once they pay for the course or register for the course, they are assigned their own login information, and that's really handy for them because they might not get a chance to complete the course all in one sitting, so they can come back tomorrow and log back in and pick up where they left off. Or they can come back in multiple times and review courses if you give them the ability to, or register for more courses. So it's a great way for them. They have their own account. For those of you that use a type of CRM system or another type of system, you are able, using our API, to connect Mindflash to that system. And I mentioned that because we have a lot of customers that use Salesforce, and they've set it up so that when one of their customers completes a training, the customer score, the score for the training will go onto that customer record within Salesforce. So you can even track it in Salesforce to be able to see which of your customers have completed training and what their score is. I'm going to log in as one of my customers. Again, it's my demo account, so it looks kind of funny because I'm always just logging in as myself, pretending to be other people. But now I'll log in as Monica. Good thing here is if Monica forgets her password, she doesn't have to call you or call your support team to have you reset it. She can just click on that link, and Mindflash will send her the link to reset her password. So I'll go ahead and log in as Monica. Now again, when Monica logs in, she would see your branding up here. And down here she sees courses she's been invited to or that she is registered for. So you may have invited her to a course instead of prompting her to register for it or pay for it. And she's going to see all of those here, as well as courses she's completed in the past. And this is really useful because if she completed a product training course, maybe she wants to come back in a few months and just review the course. So she can come in, if you've given her the ability to, and review courses that she's already been in. She doesn't have to redo tests. But she could just go through as a refresher and review those courses. So works really well. Now Monica's kind of a slacker, so she has a bunch of courses that she has not yet completed. But you'll notice that when I go through these, a lot of them she started. Like for example, the advanced course, she's 48% of the way through it. So Mindflash will track where somebody leaves off on a course. And even if Monica started this course from her iPhone and then she got distracted and she didn't finish it, she can come back in tomorrow on her computer and it will remember where she left off on her iPhone and pick up at that same spot. So really, really convenient for her. She can just go through her list of courses and go in and complete them. So for example, time management, she's 94% of the way through it. So she probably just has a survey or a final quiz to take. You'll also notice there's the option for her to download handouts. So as the trainer, you have the ability to attach handouts to a course, and especially useful for those of you that are selling courses, because by default people don't have access to download or print the content that you upload into Mindflash because it might be company confidential information or sensitive information. If you're selling courses, you probably don't want them to download your entire course content and be able to sell the course as their own. So we limit them from downloading or preventing that, or for downloading or printing that, but you are able to attach handouts, which they are able to download or print. So maybe you just attach like a 2-page overview as a handout so that you're giving them something that they can print out at their desk and use as a reference if they need to. So she could download the handout if she wants to. She's going to go ahead and click on Resume Course. It's going to bring her to exactly where she left off on this course previously. Now this is a PowerPoint, So it's going to show if she is 94% of the way through it, so I think she's probably just has one last slide or survey. In this case, she has a survey. So she just needs to finish up the survey to complete the course. Now, the survey question, what did you enjoy about this course? She can come in here and she can say, you know, whatever she wants to say, but maybe it's been a while since she actually started this course. She's able to go in and review past content that she's already seen in this course. So she could go back to a previous slide. She could go all the way back to the beginning if she wants to. So really, really easy for her to be able to say, oh, I forgot what I enjoyed about this course. Let me go through it again and just quickly see, you know, what it was that I liked. You'll see on my screen I'm just going through from the beginning. She's already completed this quiz, so she doesn't need to complete it again. This quiz question is one of my favorites. You have the ability with the quiz questions to upload pictures and have them label different areas of the pictures. Or in this case, I've uploaded multiple pictures, and she had to choose the right label for each picture. So she got those correct. Now she can go back through the content, the PowerPoint slides. This is a video that I have added into the course. I know the GoToMeeting takes a while to render the video, so you might be seeing a delay on that, but certainly it's showing up on my screen. She's able to watch the video again if she wants to, or move back on through the next slide. So really, really simple for her to progress through this course. Now, if she gets confused, maybe something doesn't make sense to her, she's able to reach out and get some help, and she's able to reach out to whoever you've indicated for this course is the contact person. So it looks kind of funny because it's my demo account and I'm really just kind of emailing myself here, but in your case, Monica would be emailing you, or if it's a course, an HR course, maybe she's emailing somebody in HR. If it's a product course, maybe she's reaching out to one of your product experts or somebody in support. You could have this the email set to an alias, so maybe it's support@abcco.com, and she can come in here, type in her question, and go ahead and click on send, and it's going to send the email to that person you specify. So that that person can go in at their convenience and respond to her. It tends to work out really, really well for our customers because they don't have to be monitoring every time somebody's online taking a course. They don't have to dedicate a resource to go in and monitor questions and help them out, but they're able to easily go in at their convenience and answer her questions. So great experience for Monica. Again, very, very simple and very clean. There's not a lot of places she can click and get lost or get confused. She simply just goes through the training and completes the course, and then once she completes it, it will obviously show up under completed. Now, she hadn't finished the survey, but she can go in next time again and complete the survey. What did you enjoy about this course? And then what other types of training would you like to see available online? These are survey questions that I set up for her, so she can go in and respond, and you're able to report on all of these survey questions and be able to tally up all the survey results. So now she's finished the survey. She didn't pass the course because she failed some of the quizzes. She failed the first quiz, it looks like. She only got 50%, so her average score was 83%. So unfortunately for Monica, she did not pass this course. But again, if you're training customers, this is maybe why you wouldn't want to have a score associated to each and every quiz. Just keep the quizzes interactive as ways for you to ask them questions, have them answer. But you can choose on each quiz if you want to have a passing score. So if it's a final exam, probably want to have a passing score associated to it, but maybe not on every quiz. So she's done. She's finished the course, and it's going to be, now it's no longer going to be under her invited tab, but she'll see it under completed. Here it is. And if you've given her the ability to go in and retake the course, she could go in and retake it. Now, if it was a course that actually had a certificate involved on it, or you've given her a certificate for completing it, she's able to go in and print out her certificate here. She'll also receive an email confirmation when she completes it, and she can print out her certificate from there. And you, as a trainer, you're able to go into Mindflash and also print out a copy of her certificate if you wanted to. So she could just go ahead and click on that certificate icon, and I'll show you an example. This one's probably different from the one I showed you previously, which was the customized certificate. This one's one of our templates but you'll see here it prints out her name, the name of the course, and her score. You can choose whether or not you want the score to show up there, as well as your company logo. Here's that unique ID number I was referring to, so that Monica can't just photocopy this certificate and give it to somebody else and type somebody else's name over it. It's unique to each and every certificate. So that's all I wanted to show you as far as what it looks like from the customer point of view. I know we probably have a lot of questions on the chat, so I'll let Randir get to those. The other thing that I'll mention is that if there was something that you were hoping to see that you didn't see, certainly you can reach out to us and we can walk you through a more detailed demo. We're happy to do so, or walk you through the Shopify again, how Shopify works with Mindflash. So I wanted the purpose of today was just give you an introduction of how to use customer training in Mindflash, and certainly we can help answer additional questions beyond what's in the chat window at your convenience. So let's hand it over to Randir so he can answer some of these questions.
All right. So before we answer any more questions, Laura, I just wanted to reiterate some of the benefits of doing this customer and partner training, and we'll share some of this in the follow-up email as well. One of our customers who was started doing partner training, they were training their resellers. The same resellers selling the same product were able to increase their revenue by up to 400%. And that was done because of the training that they were offering to these resellers. So there are really powerful benefits to training your customers, to training your resellers, from direct benefits like increasing sales, like this customer did, but also from increasing product usage, decreasing customer care contact, reducing churn, etc. So in the past, it was very expensive, time-consuming, etc., to be able to train large numbers of partners or customers. But with Mindflash, because it's so automated, you can really do a lot of this at scale. Because of the system that is so easy to use, not only for trainers but also for trainees, we see between 90 and 94% completion rates for trainees. So really, really high completion rates, and that's because the system is so easy to use. So if you haven't already started a trial, we encourage you to start a trial at mindflash.com. We offer a free 14-day trial, fully functional, no credit card required, so really no risk, and give it a shot and see if it works for you. Now, back to questions. We have a question from Sylvain asking if we can change the language. You can upload the content in whatever language you want, and we have companies that are training people in 20, 30 different countries with different languages. All the content is provided by you, so you can upload the content in different languages and set your quiz questions and answers, etc., in those different languages. We are working on making the trainee side of things more localized, so you'll have all the stuff that you see on the trainee side of things, the login pages and the course dashboard, etc., having those in multiple local languages within the next couple of months. So you can already upload your own content in any language you want today, and we will add more language support on the trainee side. Will this presentation be available afterwards? Yes. We should have emphasized that at the beginning. It is being recorded, and everyone will receive a link to the recording within 48 hours after the session. And I will include some of the other material that we talked about, like the benefits of doing partner training, as well as a link to the case study. There's an interesting question from Mike on, can you do a bulk buy of courses? So if an organization wants to provide training for a number of members, how can they buy access for multiple people, and how do they access the course? I don't think the Shopify way will probably work really well for this, Mike. What customers do for this type of scenario is they just have the company pay them and give them a list of people that they want to invite. So let's say you're selling 50 seats to a particular company. The company pays you, gives you the names of the 50 people, and you upload that list into Mindflash, and then those 50 people will get a list, will get an email invitation to take the course. There's a question from Samantha on whether Mindflash can connect to online testing sites from different companies. We do not. So we make it very easy for you to create the tests and the quizzes within Mindflash, and many of our customers use that for their certification programs. How long will the course stay available for a customer once they complete it? As you saw with what Laura was demonstrating, the course is available for them to retake in their dashboard, and you can archive the course, which will take it off from the dashboard at any point. Are you still able to invite and take your course for free that you've set up to sell on Shopify? Is a question from Nakia. And yes, you can absolutely do that. And that would be something that you can do for the bulk purchases like Mike was asking about. So you can still, even if you list a course for sale on Shopify, you can invite people directly to that course from Mindflash, and then they won't have to pay. Can you show a view from a smartphone? Unfortunately, we don't have that set up right now, but you can. We have an iPad app, so anyone can take courses using the iPad app, and we can also use it on any browser, whether it's on a phone, a smartphone, or a tablet. But unfortunately, we don't have our setup right now to view it on a phone.
If you sign up for a free trial, you would be able to test that out as part of the free trial. So that probably would be the best option to be able to see that, because we don't have the screen sharing for our phones enabled on their computers, but definitely recommend signing up for the free trial anyway, so you could test that out.
All right, we have a couple of questions from Yvonne. Can you use your platform for real-time courses? If by that question you mean can we do it like a GoToWebinar or a GoToMeeting or WebEx, then the answer is no. But we have people using it for what's called blended learning, which means that you can send a bunch of courses through Mindflash to people before the live session. And you get an assessment, you can have some quizzes, and you get an assessment of how much of the information they have absorbed. And you do that at the beginning of the session, and then people who have completed their course requirements and have passed are then invited to a live session. That live session can be a classroom, or it could be a live internet-based WebEx or GoToWebinar type of session. And then after the course, you can send them a summary of the course on Mindflash with another set of quizzes that can assess the information both from the prerequisite courses as well as from the live session. And we have a number of customers using the blended learning approach, which we are huge fans of. Does your platform have a similar interface for PC? Are there any differences? No. This works on all modern browsers. So you can use Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, Chrome, etc. on PC and Mac. Does the integration with Shopify work with all versions of Mindflash? Asks Deborah. No, it is available on our Pro tier, and that's the version that has the integration with Shopify. And if you want to do the other things that we talked about, which is just inviting people, then that works at all tiers. Terry missed what we answered about the smartphone. Terry, what we said is we didn't have the setup today to show you what the smartphone looks like on the screen. We are just sharing our computer screens for this session. But if you already have a Mindflash account or start a free trial, then you can experience it on the PCs, tablets, and smartphones. Okay, there's a suggestion that for future webinars that we have the ability to demonstrate iPads and smartphones. Thank you, we'll definitely consider that. Can we reset a demo mode for my account on Mindflash? I am not sure what that question is.
I don't know. Maybe if you're asking if you can reset the trial, certainly just reach out to me directly. I'll go ahead and put my email address in that chat window. So for those of you on the call, if you think maybe you think of a question after the call that comes up that I didn't answer today, or something you'd like to see in more detail, you can just reach out to me directly via email, and we can set up time to talk. I just sent my email address in the chat window, laura.hall@mindflash.com, and I'm more than willing to help with existing trials or set new people up on trials as well.
Okay, I think we cleared all the questions, so thank you for your very active participation today. And if you want to have more details, especially if you are not an existing Mindflash customer, on how Mindflash works, Laura does a weekly demo at 10 a.m. Pacific on GoToWebinar, where we go through how to set up courses and quizzes and reporting, etc. on Mindflash. So if you think that would be interesting to you, please show up for that session. That is it. So thank you very much for joining us, and look forward to an email with a recording of this webinar